Today, I want to talk a bit about how to find your purpose in life. For a CFO, for corporate professionals, we work so hard. We make a good living. We've got our cars, we've got our family, we've got our nice homes, we've got our vacations. And so often, my clients come to me and say, "This is great, working so hard, doing well. I'm just missing something." And in finding your purpose in life, it's a real integral part of having a very good balance on what we do and being fulfilled. And the questions are, do you have a strong purpose guiding your life and your career aspirations, your children, your family, your faith relationships, etc. Um, Purpose can be defined as an overarching intention that is personally meaningful for you and of consequence of those intentions to the rest of the world beyond yourself. Your purpose can help you organize your life, give you clear direction, and motivate you, especially when you encounter life's inevitable setbacks and disappointments. Some of us on a daily basis. But um, for example, maybe you've got this strong desire to contribute to the greater good, leading you to pursue a career in an international firm or nonprofit work. Or maybe you're just energized when you're lifting people up and want to entertain them through a creative career, whatever it is. And maybe even you're still finding your purpose, and that's okay too. In fact, one estimate shows that 20% of people or professionals have a clear idea of their purpose. And I think even that's pretty high, even with the preliminary discussions that I've had with my clients, especially with the intellect and the brain power that corporate executives have. I think 20% is even high when applied across the general population, and that's in a positive manner, by the way. So finding your purpose in life can benefit you in many ways, and those that report a strong sense of purpose tend to have better mental health and are more resilient against setbacks. And finding your purpose is also a precursor to being an effective leader, and working in a meaningful career can have positive impacts, even as most of us know, across your personal life. So why is this so important? Let me give you an example of a client I will call Jane. I've never had a client named Jane, by the way. So Jane is and it's a true story. The name has been changed to protect the innocent. But Jane is a highly paid, well-respected CFO out of Iowa. Married, husband was a pretty good dude, according to Jane. Two kids, assume a great house, nice cars, healthy family and love, et cetera, et cetera. Jane came to me and said she works too much. She sacrificed much for her career and is now examining why the hell she felt so empty inside. And in her mind and in her emotions, her career was rewarding. But as she looked back and had checked that box, she felt somewhat unfulfilled in her overall life and came to me looking for that spark. Now, as we examine Jane's case, I will keep this analysis and the details low, the analysis very high level, as to not give away any confidential information, but realize this process is very in depth and can lead to some bright and sunny days, but inevitably will also take us down this basement of moldy, cold, dark, damp things that maybe we don't want to visit in our mind. But this is a perfect example of finding your purpose. Jane and I used 3 steps to figure out where her heart and where her mind was, and how finding her purpose can help her move forward. So, what does this take? There are 3 critical actions that I look at when determining your purpose. Number 1, it's reflection. Number 2, it's life engagement. And number 3, it's social feedback. So let's look at each of those. Reflection. Reflect back on your experiences and realistically pat yourself on the back. Realize how far you've come. I mean, take a look back at your high school or college or even mid 30s, depending on how old you are, and reflect back. In my coaching programs and when I work with clients, I take copious amounts of notes and I listen to words, and words are very important. So, for example, early on in one of our discussions, Jane stated things are going very smoothly. For example, we met budget. We explained the variance analysis without exception. The audit was clean. The refinancing was stressful. The board meeting is coming up in March, and we're positive about that. So if you look at that on the surface, Jane is very positive. A lot of people would say, from a CFO perspective, Jane's got it going on, right? Now, what I listened to is one word in there, and that was stressful. When she said refinancing was stressful, I pick up on that because we tend to undervalue or underemphasize the negative when it comes to us as corporate professionals. We're a cup is half empty type of people. And so to really focus on that, to find her purpose, was a key here. Um, Now, when we reflect back, the reflection must find positive meaning. Psychologists call this adaptive reflection. And as you reflect back on your experiences, ask yourself a couple questions to help you gather insights about what your actual purpose is. And those questions are, how do my experiences help shape who I am? How do my impact, how did it impact my values and worldviews? What are some of the gifts of this experience? And who and what am I grateful for, and how can I give back? And it's important that these reflections stretch beyond yourself and help you excuse me, help you connect to the greater world. Therefore, you want to critically think about what is going on around you, directly around you, and how you can contribute. And your answers to those questions will help gain insight into the aspects of the experiences that you've enjoyed the most, derive meaning from, and want to continue to pursue. And that's the reflective part. The life engagement part is where number two is where we seek out new experiences and reach beyond ourselves. So we want to engage in a diverse life and diverse career experiences. And these studies that I've looked at have shown that a strong sense of purpose is spent around a significant amount of time cultivating our passions, whatever we believe in. And it's everything from what we believe in, from biology to art to what we love to sports. I mean, it's all encompassing. So people did not wait for their passions to simply appear one day. They went out very intentionally and found them. And what living intentionally means is that once a goal is clarified, be action based in achieving that goal. So set out those action steps to achieve that goal. For example, when I was a young pup in the late 90s, I've always loved children. And so I found, living in Portland, Oregon, a local nonprofit called Children's Cancer Association. And CCA, as it was called, it's actually Joy RX now, but CCA was a nonprofit that worked with kids starting out with cancer, but terminally ill, diseases and medical dilemmas. Now, we didn't work on the medical part that was for doctors. We worked on the holistic part, and it was making kids and families feel better as they went through this process. So when I was first engaged with CCA, I interviewed to be a chemo pal, and trained to be a chemo pal. And what a chemo pal was myself as a young or middle-aged male would befriend a child going through this. And what that did was really gave that child a second look at life, a confidant to speak with, and it also gave the parents support and sometimes even time just to get away while I, as a chemo pal, helped this child. And my first, I remember a gentleman named Nick trained me, and a couple others on a Tuesday night. And Regina, the founder and CEO of CCA, called me the next day and she said, "Hey, how did it go?" And I said, it went absolutely great. What you do is perfect. The training was top notch. However, I cannot be a chemo pal. I just don't have it in me. And so we talked a little bit. And my two main points for this was helping children and their families, and also to bring my very, very exquisite corporate financial prowess, pun intended, joke intended, to the CCA to really help out. So since I couldn't be the chemo pal, I didn't have that in me. We molded my gifts, if I could say that, into the finance chair on the board of directors. And so it really took my passion and my strengths and put them together to give me a direction to find at that point of time in my life, sort of my purpose then. And obviously that has grown even larger today. But that was really the first step in finding my purpose. And it was a tough experience. Actually admitting that I could not be a chemo pal, but doing the best I could with my emotional set and my corporate background. I think it led to a pretty good answer. Moving on to number three is the social feedback. Discuss your life goals and experiences with others and gather their feedback. Those who know you well will give you that straight feedback. Many people who have gone through this have felt those conversations gave them a diverse perspective and helped them to see their goals a little more clearly. And when we share goals with others, we do get clarity on that because we do get a different perspective and people see us differently than we see ourselves, especially in relation to that goal. And so as you look at those three aspects of finding your purpose with life engagement, self-reflection, social feedback, it's the intersection of those three. So if you can imagine three balls, and that intersection is is where your key is to finding your purpose. So whatever matches with those three is the key to your purpose. Again, in working with Jane, we figured out that she did everything for her children through this process. She wanted to provide for them in ways that she did not have growing up. And thus, when she had a crappy day and wanted to punch the world in the neck, she returned to her vision and her purpose of her children, and that brought her back to earth. So what she was doing on a daily basis was her purpose, and it was taking her skills as a corporate professional and applying that to the emotional side of her purpose, which was her children. Um, so as you take stock in what you've learned through this person and start to engage in the building blocks of this purpose discovery, if I can say that, expect your purpose to slowly crystallize and gain clarity over time. It's not going to come out right away. Um, in summary, living out one's purpose is a lifelong pursuit and it often changes. But taking these actions does not mean your purpose will automatically arise or that your journey will be free of struggle or confusion or some really dark rooms that you may have to enter. But these proactive behaviors can help you in forming the building blocks of your emerging sense of purpose and discover that deep shared purpose with others.